G'day everyone, welcome to the Jimbo channel, and in today's video we will be doing our round 2 predictions for the week. And sorry I didn't do round 1, I was being a bit of a lazy bum. There's not really an excuse for my poor efforts, but anyway, let's get right into it. We start the round off with a cracker on Thursday night between the Cats and the Blues. I do think this will be a good game of footy. Obviously the Cats defense is nowhere near as good as it was, obviously, with Stewart going down with that injury. That gives Carlton a perfect opportunity to strike. They should have won last week, but yeah, obviously things happened and Carlton just weren't good enough in the end, and the Tigers got there. But I do think this Carlton team will put on a show, and I do think the Cats won't let them get an easy win, but I am tipping Carlton to win in an upset by 14 points. What a way to start off the round. Moving on to Friday night, we have the Demons and the Lions at the Gabba. Unfortunately, I won't be watching this one because I'll be streaming the Socceroos, so make sure you tune in on that stream. It should be lots of fun. Anyway, going back into the game, I do think that the Demons should win this one. They've got 4 people coming back, and you've got, obviously, Cozzy Pickett with that 2-week holiday. But let's just talk about Brisbane here. That was so disappointing on the weekend against Port Adelaide. They got outplayed, outsmarted, and outcoached. Even though the umpires were spoon-feeding them with some ridiculous free kicks against Port Adelaide, Port was still able to win. And not by, like, it was smashing, to be honest. Like, being completely honest, it was really poor from Brisbane. And if they show, like, anything like that, like even a little patch of that, Melbourne will thrash you. And they did against the Bulldogs, who reminded me of that 2021 grand final when the Bulldogs had the lead and Melbourne came back and won by a big margin. It did remind me of that, but I just think the Demons, they should be able to come out here and beat Brisbane, and I'm going to say it by 25 points. And yeah, I really don't see the Lions winning this one. We start off Saturday at the MCG between Collingwood and Port Adelaide in what should be an alright match, but I do really think that the Pies will come out and they will put on a performance against Port. Port, I don't know, they may have had one lucky game. I don't really think it's lucky. It was just outdoing Brisbane. But I do think Collingwood will win this one, and it won't be by much. I do think it's about 10 points. Collingwood do know how to win a close game of footy. Obviously, you saw that last year a lot, like 6 weeks in a row or something. And I just do think Collingwood have that better list. And yeah, I do have Collingwood winning by 10 points in what should be a pretty good game of footy. I reckon at some stages Port will take the lead, but Collingwood will maintain it most of the game, and they will get up to like a 20-point lead, and Port will kick a couple back, and then be back and forth. And I really do think that Collingwood just have the better list, and they've got more skill. Obviously, Noah Howe will hurt them a bit, but I just think Collingwood are good enough to not necessarily need him in those big moments. So yeah, I've got Collingwood by 10 points in what should be a decent game of footy. Moving on to the Adelaide Oval, we have the game between the Crows and the Tigers, and to be honest, I think the Tigers should win this one easily. They did not play well in the first half, obviously, against Carlton, but Tom Lynch came in clutch with 20 seconds left to tie the game in the second half. And yeah, they're coming up against the Crows list, who had a lead 50-14 against the GWS Giants and still lost. So I really don't see the Crows putting up much of a fight at all. I just think the Tigers will run all over them, and they'll win this game by 43 points in what should be it won't be a good game of footy, and yeah, there'll be plenty of mistakes from the Crows, and the Tigers will just take advantage of that. So yeah, I've got the Tigers winning by 43 points. Alright, going on to the first Saturday night game between the Bulldogs and the Saints, in which should be a really good game of footy. The Dogs, they had a disappointing second half against the D's. They had a good 13-point lead, and they just lost by 50. So just did remind me of their 2021 grand final selves, and yeah, it was obviously disappointing, and they should be disappointed. Saints, on the other hand, they played a heroic and courageous performance against the Fremantle Dockers. Despite all their injuries, they still managed to beat the Dockers, and Ross the Boss against his old team should be proud of himself. I actually do have Ross the Boss winning this one against Luke Beveridge, and I have them winning by 2 points in which should be a really good high-scoring game. I actually have it being high-scoring. There'll be plenty of goals kicked, and yeah, both will have some errors in the game, of course, a bit more than usual, but yeah, I do think the Dogs will go 0-2, and the Saints will go marching in with that 2-0 streak. And yeah, it will be a good game of footy, and I can't wait to watch it if North weren't playing Fremantle. So we go on to North and Freo, and I think the Dockers will win by 25 points. And North will put on a courageous performance in the first half, and they will unfortunately drop away against the experienced Freo side. Obviously, you got Harry Sheezel, who got the Rising Star. He played sensational against the Eagles with that 34 disposals. And yeah, I just don't think North have the experience or talent to really go up against a team like Fremantle in Perth. I know, we just beat West Coast, so not much to celebrate about, obviously. But as a North fan, you don't really see many of those games where you just win and you hold on. So it meant so much to me, and I think we will put up a fight in the first half. We won't let Freo get away with the ball and kick many goals, and then unfortunately, being a young list, I think we will unfortunately drop off against an experienced Freo side. So yeah, unfortunately a 25-point loss, and I hope that does not happen for my sake, obviously, but yeah, that's just the way I see it. My head thinks Freo, but my heart always thinks North Melbourne. Up the Roos. Alright, so we start at an alright Sunday. There'll be one good game on Sunday, and I'll get into that in a minute. If you know, you know. But we start off with the Swans and the Hawks, and it will be a pretty bad game of footy. There's not really much to talk about, besides that the Hawks are shit. They won't win, and they will be nowhere near a victory, to be honest, because a team like Sydney, who destroyed the Suns by 49 points, will easily beat a team like Hawthorn, who can't even beat Essendon and get thumped by 70 points. So, to be honest, I have Sydney winning by 90 points, and it'll be an absolute thrashing from start to finish. And it's dark times, so Hawks fans, I understand what it's like as a North Melbourne supporter. It's not good, and yeah, you guys won't be good for many years, unfortunately. So yeah, Sydney by 90 points, even without Buddy Franklin, they will win by 90 points. That is my big call for the round, 90 points. And anyway, time to get into the reason why the next game is the best. And the reason why the next game is the best is because the Gold Coast Crips are happening. Make sure you head down to Southern Cross at 1 PM. Meet everyone at the Woolies at Southern Cross, and we'll be marching at 1:10 to Marvel Stadium for a 3:20 start. Get into our seats and support the mighty Suns in a good game of footy. And I actually do have the Suns winning this one by 20 points. And oh yeah, Essendon, they played well against the Hawks. So congratulations, Essendon. You beat the worst team in the league, and now your fans think that you're on top of the world. So I can't wait for them to crash down into disappointment. So yeah, I have the Suns winning by 20 points, and it'll be a great day. Everyone will have a good time. We got speakers coming in. But if you are heading down, make sure you go in all black. There'll be sun scarves provided at the Woolies, and yeah, it should be a good time. So get your tickets. I know that there are some free ones, free junior tickets, 1 to 5 years old. Yeah, they're completely free. And also, as of recording, there is a giveaway right now. So if you want to be on the ground and run off with the Suns players, all you got to do is you got to tag 2 people and follow the Gold Coast Suns Crips page. Make sure you head down there, guys. It should be good. And yeah, hopefully I can meet some of you. And obviously the big names like Cardman22, you've got Lockie Miller heading down, you've got Menzer as well, and even Bailey Killingsworth. So yeah, it'll be a great day. Make sure to head down and I will see you there. Alright, although the game before is going to be awesome, we end the round with a snooze fest, and that's between GWS and West Coast at Optus Stadium, and it will be a boring game of footy. I'm not going to watch it, of course, because they'll be supporting the Suns. For the community's sake, we do hope the Suns beat the Bombers. But anyway, going to that game, yeah, I just think the GWS are not very good. West Coast aren't very good. There won't be many goals, and it'll be a boring game. And I'm not even thinking this in the top of my head, the margin. And I think it's going to be a 5-point GWS win. I just think neither teams have anything to be really excited about. West Coast had an alright comeback against us. I'm glad we held them off. And GWS played well against the Crows. But to be honest, yeah, not many goals. And not many highlights in that game either. So the AFL should rename the highlights that they do after every game to lowlights, to be honest. There's not many highlights coming in for this one. And yeah, I have the Giants winning by 5. Alright, so that wraps up my predictions for round 2. As I said, I'm sorry I couldn't do round 1. It's just disappointing for me. I was quite lazy, and I was doing some stream. I was setting up the stream for the Hawks Bombers, so please understand that that was the reason. And also another reason was because bloody FIFA and UEFA were taking down my videos for copyright. Complete bullshit if you're watching. Anyway, yeah, that will wrap up the video. Make sure you smash the like button and chuck a sub. I'm actually in a sub war with Bailey Killingsworth. I would like to get to 100 subs before him. So yeah, please help me out there and chuck the subscription. You don't have to. You can just watch the video and move on, but that's completely fine to me. But it would really help the channel grow if you chuck a sub. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Cheers.